For a self-described wartime president, victory over COVID-19 equals a vaccine.
I hope we're going to have a vaccine, and we're going to fast track it like you've never seen before.
Adding Trump-style branding, the administration launched Operation Warp Speed, a multi-billion-dollar research and manufacturing effort to shorten the typical year-plus vaccine development timeline. The goal is ambitious, producing patient-ready vaccines as early as January, though officials stressed there is no guarantee.
We want to go quickly, but we want to make sure it's safe and it's effective. I think that is doable.
Officials tell NBC News the project whittled down 93 potential vaccines from more than 80 pharmaceutical companies. Next, 14 drugs considered most promising will undergo more testing, narrowed again for clinical trials this month. Officials say the work could result in 3 or 4 vaccines for wide use.
I have never seen in my career a group of scientists so single-mindedly focused on a single problem.
Scientists say the pressure to succeed is urgent, but caution is required.
This product needs to be tested in a proper placebo-controlled trial, and if we try to take shortcuts against common scientific processes, we could wind up paying the price.
Asked who is in charge of this government and private sector mission, the president mentioned his medical advisors, but
I think probably more than anything, I'm in charge, and I'm the one that gets blamed, and I get blamed anyway.
And Kelly, there are now questions about how to test senators as they come back into session.
Well, Jose, the physician for Congress says he does not have enough tests to screen all 100 senators. So the administration offered to send 3 of those rapid result machines and 1,000 tests to Congress. But today, in a rare joint statement, Speaker Pelosi and Majority Leader McConnell declined that offer, saying with the scarcity of testing, those should be reserved for frontline workers.
Hey, folks, I'm Joe Biden. I'd like to ask you to join my campaign. As I've said time and again, we're in a battle for the soul of this nation. And that means not only defeating Donald Trump, but also taking big, bold actions to help Americans who are struggling. You know, it's not going to be easy, but nothing worth fighting for is ever easy. So join me, and together we'll defeat Donald Trump and transform America.
Trump is pushing a fast-track warp speed vaccine for the whole world, and he says, CBS headline, Trump says he would mobilize the military to distribute coronavirus vaccine when it's ready. And he says everybody's got to take it. Literally, mandatory vaccines being put out across the whole nation by the military. How's that not a scary thought? Here we go. Trump just announced that he has, quote, mobilized the military and other forces now in order to be positioned to give vaccines to, quote, most of the American population.
You've seen this before, but this is us in the blue.
You're up to 10 million.
Now look at this, over 10 million tests.
Can we get to a place where the White House is in corporate America, where every time you go to work, you just get your temperature taken, you get a test? Is that where we're going?
You don't want to be doing that. Look, we want to go back to, like, you want to see a baseball game, or you want to see a basketball or football, you want to walk into a stadium. I went to the Alabama LSU game last year. They had 110,000 people in the stadium. I don't want to see 25,000 people where you have empty seats all over the place because of distance.
When do you think we could get back to that, Mr. President? How long is this going to take to get back to normalcy?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a vaccine by the end of the year. We're doing very well with the vaccine. And I will tell you something, I just literally left a meeting. We're mobilizing our military and other forces, but we're mobilizing our military on the basis that we do have a vaccine. You know, it's a massive job to give this vaccine. Our military is now being mobilized, so at the end of the year, we're going to be able to give it to a lot of people very, very rapidly.
And you're just doing something with syringes as well, so that you can have it plentiful.
Give it to most everybody very, very rapidly with the military. Now, in the movie Contagion, which has so much similarities to what's going on right now, the sci-fi dystopian pandemic world that we're living in, it has the vaccine is like the ultimate solution. It's the holy grail in the movies, and people are fighting and robbing each other over the vaccine. There is kidnappings for people to get vaccines. there is a lottery, a government lottery, where they pick a ball and it's your birthday, and that's who gets the vaccines first. Everybody that had their birthday on that day, almost conditioning everybody that, you know, when this dark all these simulations that they've been planning for, that they've got conflict of interest in, go live, they're going to be right there to swoop in and help and profit and take more of our rights. Mandatory vaccines, contact tracing. It's just, things are really heating up to dystopian levels.
That's
You
right.
have enough vaccine.
We will have the tremendous force, because assuming we get it, then you have to distribute it.
Right.
And unless you're mobilized and ready, you're not going to be able to do it for a long time. So we're starting now. We're of the assumption that by the end of the year, we're going to have a vaccine, and then we have to be able to give it, to use it on most of our population.
Yeah.
No,
Most of the population, like Bill Gates says, he's going to hold the whole world hostage. You're not going back to normal until everybody takes one of his vaccines. And he even said in another video, he called it, the final solution is going to be everybody takes the vaccine. And then they want the certificate of immunity or vaccination as well, where you can't travel, you can't participate in the world, you can't go around, you can't send your kids to school if you take whatever chemicals they want you to roll up your sleeve and inject in your body. And now the military is going to be giving it out everywhere. Unreal. Trust the plan, right, QAnon guys? Trust this plan. Incredible. And it gets worse. So here, Trump says he is in charge of Operation Warp Speed for virus vaccine. The project, which hasn't been publicly announced, this was April 30th, is intended to speed up vaccine development and produce enough doses for most Americans by the end of the year. Hey, are people really going to be lining up to go take this? Obviously, no long-term testing, rushed through trials. Amazing. I know I don't want it. Trump administration's Operation Warp Speed, looking at 14 potential COVID-19 vaccines to fast track. 14, so Trump's looking at 14. I remember Bill Gates saying that he had 7. Israel's got a bunch of their stuff they're doing. I think people all over the world are trying to come up with some kind of cure. But now here's the next one. Go ahead, this is the MPD says, go ahead, keep blaming only Fauci. And Fauci is rotten to the core. His relations going back with, I believe, what is it, the Rockefellers and Bill Gates and all these vaccine companies. I don't trust him for a second either. And he's Trump's guy. But here it says, go ahead, keep blaming only Fauci. The evidence is very clear. If you're supporting politics and politicians, then you're supporting the beast systems. Here's Donald Trump signs in Operation Warp Speed, a plan to vaccinate 300 million Americans.
Are you overpromising when you say you're going to have 300 million doses of vaccine?
No, I'm not overpromising. I don't know who said it, but whatever the maximum is, whatever you can humanly do, we're going to have. And we hope we're going to come up with a good vaccine. Johnson & Johnson and Oxford and lots of different great companies, representatives of our country in some ways. NIH is working very hard and doing a terrific job. No, I hope we're going to have a vaccine, and we're going to fast track it like you've never seen before. If we come up with a vaccine, I think they probably will.
Isn't that reassuring? They're going to fast track it like never before. You know, like they did the swine flu, people died from that vaccine. Years from now, they're going to be like, did you get? Well, they'll have immunity. They give the vaccine companies and the government immunity.
In charge of that Operation Warp Speed.
We have, you know who's in charge of it? Honestly, I am. I'll tell you, I'm really in charge of it. I could say somebody else. I will say we're dealing with, as you know, the general and the admiral. They're very much in charge. But I think probably more than anything, I'm in charge.
So there he is. Trump says he's in charge of Operation Warp Speed. And I'm surprised it's not Kushner, because Kushner seems to be put in charge of everything else. Okay, now here we have Alex Azar, the former Eli Lilly, former pharmaceutical company CEO and top lobbyist that was also oversaw the anthrax 2001 super suspicious scam. Here he is on the White House. 1.5 million subscribers. Look, 12,000 views. May 13th, so this is yesterday. Breaking records to develop a coronavirus vaccine.
President Trump has launched Operation Warp Speed, which is an historic effort to bring vaccines, therapeutics, and diagnostics to the American people in record time. President Trump looked at the timelines that all of these players in the pharmaceutical industry and elsewhere said would be needed to bring these products to market, and he said that's not acceptable. And so building on work that the Department of Health and Human Services, the Defense Department, and all of our colleagues across the United States government and in industry have been doing since January, working day and night. He's launching Operation Warp Speed, which is going to...
The Defense Department? That's interesting. Is that the military and the Defense Department? Martial law for everybody to take it? You know, there used to be some David D's cartoons. I think I have it saved in screenshots on my phone. I didn't want to look for it, but it shows like a mobile mandatory vaccination mobile, and a couple heavily militarized police holding some people down and shooting them up with some vaccines. And is that where we're headed?
Press and wring out every inefficiency in the process, take away every unused day, and also scale up at the same time manufacturing so that as we get vaccines that work, we'll be able to actually distribute them right away because we're manufacturing at the same time. So President Trump is setting, as he always does, ambitious goals, but he's got the right team in place to make this happen.
Pretty charismatic and enthusiastic. No wonder he's probably a billionaire, at least tens of millions CEO and pharmaceutical executive. Like a nice, smooth, used car salesman. Here we go. Here's another video. Coronavirus vaccine is coming soon thanks to Operation Warp Speed. 560 thumbs down. Not so good. I guess people aren't liking it that much.
Here's an example of just how on top of this President Trump's team has been from day one. Within just a couple of days of getting the genetic sequence of this virus from China, our scientists at the National Institutes of Health actually invented a vaccine, and then within record time, just within 8 weeks, that vaccine was put into human clinical trials, and those trials progress to this day.
Okay. That's interesting. All right, so now in other news, we have... I'm sure you guys have probably seen already. It's been widely covered, but Congress.gov, House Resolution 6666, COVID-19 Testing, Reaching, and Contacting Everyone Act, the TRACE Act. It's only been introduced by Bobby Rush, and I don't know. It's almost like they're trolling. This looks like it'd be from The Onion or something. Trace, we're gonna trace you with the 666. Testing, reaching, and contacting everyone. And then we have Jerusalem Post. Benjamin Netanyahu suggests microchipping kids, slammed by experts. Quote from Netanyahu, if the information with the kids' location is uploaded to the internet, a pedophile with some cyber knowledge may invade the system and stalk them, cyber expert Maron said. So that's pretty crazy. I saw Alex Jones covered this, and then he tried to spin it that, oh, Netanyahu, he's just compromised, as if he's not behind the whole big Israel tech Zionist agenda. Oh, he's just compromised. Yeah. Jones also said a couple months ago that, oh, you know who can't be bought out? Netanyahu, Trump, Putin, Matt Drudge. And now they're all saying, oh, Matt Drudge is sold out now too. Oh, I'm seeing all the Trump supporters say that because I guess he's not carrying as much water, as much of a lapdog for Trump as they want him to be. And then we have patent 60606, cryptocurrency system using body activity data. It's like cryptocurrency mining using our all of the data they get from sensors on people, and this is human body activated, associated with a task to a user, may be used in a mining process of a cryptocurrency system. It sounds like straight out of the Matrix. And this is a patent filed by Microsoft Technology Licensing. So interesting, a couple bills with tracing everything like Mark of the Beast and cryptocurrencies with connected to human sensors, human body activity. They both kind of have 666 in them. Just a coincidence, I'm sure. And Microsoft, did put up their advertisements while all this is going on with Marina Abramovich, the famous spirit cooker and Satanism type of art. And then Microsoft put up the ad and then pulled it down because it was getting so many thumbs down and such blowback. Pretty incredible. This was going viral the other day. Bill Gates' wife was wearing an upside down cross in her big interview,